Good evening. I'm Leland Vittert. On the program tonight, why Democrats suddenly fell back in love with Hillary Clinton, how the Highland Park parade attack could flip the crime debate back in favor of Democrats this November, plus border sheriffs declare an invasion. It sounds like a publicity stunt until you read the Constitution, the new powers for local law enforcement along the Rio Grande, and a new study gives Chick-fil-A top honors. Is it Jesus or the chicken? Maybe, just maybe, the chicken is better because of Jesus. Certainly the service might be. We'll get to that in a minute. But first, on point tonight, Bill Clinton's campaign manager all the way back in 1992 famously said, "It's the economy, stupid." Now, 30 years later, it's the economy, stupid, and Democrats want a Clinton back, this time Hillary Clinton. Now more than ever, Democrats need Hillary Clinton. That's the headline in The Hill, our partner publication. It's written by Doug Schoen, former Clinton advisor. That doesn't get written and published without tacit approval from Team HRC. Of course, the more people who write about it, the more people who talk about it, the more she gets asked about it on TV.
Do you miss the day-to-day of politics? Is there any scenario in your brain that you would think, I want to get back in?
No, but I miss it. I miss it.
There's no scenario in 2024 that you would even remotely consider.
I can't imagine it. I really can't.
But not a no.
Well, but what I can imagine is staying as active and outspoken as I can.
Oh, please ask me that question just 5 or 6 or 8 more times. At this point, we kind of need to take a step back from the horse race, if you will. How crazy is this? 18 months into President Biden's first team, and the party elders are openly talking about a primary challenge, or maybe they don't even need a primary challenge. Mr. Biden may simply not run. In fact, 62% of Americans say he shouldn't run. That's a big number. Only 23% say he should. It's the economy, stupid. We never talked about this or even contemplated it with Reagan, Bush, Clinton, Bush, Obama, or Trump. They were the undisputed king of their party. On their 532nd day in office, Biden is at 38.9% in his approval poll. Trump was at 42.2% and Carter at 42.1%. Of course, Carter did face a primary challenge, Ted Kennedy, and it was a brutal fight. It crippled Carter, who lost badly to Reagan in the general election. More importantly, and this really goes for all of us, having a first-term lame duck president with 2.5 years left in office is bad for the country. How bad, who knows? But the last few years of the 1970s were awful. That's not a political statement. It's a fact. It is, after all, the economy, stupid. That's On Point. Chris Hans here, host of the Aggressive Progressive podcast. Are you on the Draft Hillary team yet?
No, I'm not on the Draft Hillary team. I'm a Gen Xer, and I want the next president to be a Gen Xer. I'm tired of baby boomers. I'm tired of the greatest generation. I'm tired of the silent generation, which is what Trump and Biden are. They're not even the greatest generation or baby boomers. They're too old. It's time to pass the torch to a new generation of America. And I read all this stuff about Hillary all the time. People write this so that they get talked about on shows like this, on my podcast, on other things. It's nonsense. She's not running. I worked with her. I worked very closely with her. She would have been a great president. She would have been an excellent president.
But Chris, we can all agree that she could have given a Sherman-esque statement to Gayle King, and no one would have anything to write or talk about anymore. She loves this.
Oh, everybody loves it. Why do you think people get into politics and television for, Leland? They want attention. What do you think I'm doing here on a Monday night, on Tuesday night?
An honest guess.
Right? We love the attention. That's why we're in this business.
Yeah. All right, fair enough. You think about where the attention, though, is right now, which is on the economy. This was from Joe Biden over the weekend. My message to the companies running gas stations and setting prices at the pump is simple. This is a time of war and global peril. Bring down the price you're charging to reflect the cost you're paying for it, and do it now. Even big liberals, Jeff Bezos, said this is either fundamentally out of touch or simply just ignores the laws of economics. Shouting at the wind is not a good look, is it?
Well, oil is trading at a point where gas should be about $3.15 a gallon. So there is something to that, right? And Jeff Bezos, a lot of trillionaire big liberals, but I'll take it. I still have my Amazon packages coming every day.
Where does this go from here? Real quick, this is the White House press secretary today about the economy.
Do we believe we're in recession? No. The facts are this. We've averaged more than 400,000 jobs every month for the past, over the last month, 3 months. We've held steady at 3.6 of unemployment rate. Consumer spending remains strong and above pre-pandemic trends. Business investment remains strong, and household balance sheets remain strong. So we do not believe that we are in a recession.
Forget Hillary Clinton. Just bring back the guy who can feel your pain. This White House doesn't seem to be able to do that. Is that why there are so many, even Democrats, who are saying Joe Biden shouldn't run again?
Well, everything she said was true, but yes, they do need to feel the pain of the average American who is paying more for gas, who's paying more for food.
Why is that so hard for them?
I don't know, because Biden is very much the guy who has been known for his empathy his entire career. So it's hard because now they're blaming him for the economy. And again, President of the United States doesn't have as much to do with the economy as we give that person credit and blame for. So there might be some frustration there, but he's got to get over it. He's got to communicate with the American people in a way that shows that he is thinking about them in this regard every day.
Well, and it's what the American people are thinking about. This is the poll that was just up. What are your priorities? What do you care about the most? Inflation, gas prices, 48%. Economy, paying bills, 15%. Paying everyday bills, 6%. Abortion is at 5%. How is it possible for President Biden not to get a primary challenge? How is it possible for Democrats to get anything but shellacked in November with those kind of numbers in the economy where it's at?
Well, base politics is really what drives people out, right? So who knows what the choice debate's going to do in November? I think it's too soon to tell. But that said, I do expect the Democrats to lose the House, but I think they're going to hold the Senate, if you want my bet on it. But for Biden to be primaried, I don't think he would have a successful primary challenger if he decides to run 2 years from now. But that said,
if history tells us, though, it doesn't need to be successful to be fatal, right?
No, you're absolutely right. I mean, Bush, the first, had Pat.
Pat Buchanan. No, it's a great point.
Pat Buchanan, and it damaged him to a point where he couldn't win. And you mentioned Carter earlier. Yeah, it could be a problem.
Yeah, Ross Perot may have had a little bit more to do with that with Bush, but your point's well taken.
I've done the math on this, and those votes got taken away from both of them in that.
It's good. It's a great point. It's obviously what Democrats are thinking about, though they're not actively tamping down or trying to protect Biden, at least at this point. Hey, Chris,
I think that there's a lot of people here that don't believe that Biden will run again. But you can't say that at this point in your presidency, or like you just said, you're a lame duck. You got to be able to have that threat that you're still out there and you're going to be around for that to matter. And I do think that there will be people on the horizon. Look, we didn't know who Obama was till really 4 years before he became president.
Yeah, no, so, it's a great point, John. The 2004 convention was the moment. We got to run, Chris. It was good to see you.
Nice to see you too.
Yeah, thank you. Thanks for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find NewsNation on your television provider. And don't forget to subscribe. Click the red button to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.